Hello students. In first part of Introduction to Computer Networks, we saw what is a computer network, what is the need of computer network, what are its advantages, what are its disadvantages, what are the types of networks, and some terms related to computer networks. So in part 2, we will see some more on computer networks. So we'll see what are the devices used and its uses in a computer network. So we'll see the first one, that is network interface unit or network interface card. A network interface unit is an interpreter that helps in establishing communication between the server and the client. So we know what is a server and client. So if you want to establish connection between this, you need a device called network interface unit or network interface card. Network interface cards are used to connect individual computers or devices to a network. So network interface cards have ports which allow network cables to be plugged in and connect the computer to the network. So this is a picture of the computer network interface card. So here you can insert the network cables. So nowadays we get the network interface card will be network interface unit will be built in with the motherboard of. So there will be another kind of network interface unit that is wireless. So any of this kind is required to establish a connection between the server and the client or two systems each other. Clear? Next is network cable. Network cables are plugged into a computer wired network interface card and connects it to the network. So you can see the picture here how the network cables are plugged into a network interface card. So network cables are look like this. This part we call it as a RJ45 connector, and the cables will be inside the wires. It will be of different kinds of wires, and each wire performs some functions. Clear? So next unit is hub. So the hub looks like this. Hub allows the computer and devices to plug into their ports in order to connect each other and share files and resources. So you want to connect two computers together, then from your system's network interface card, cable has to go to a hub, and again another system also it will be connected to a hub. So it will help you to establish connection between two systems. The hub simply sends the data onto every computer or device on the network. This means that every device on the network will receive the same data whether they requested or not. Means, so if you are sending data from one place to another, so that in a network, the hub will send the data to each of the nodes whether the node is requested the data or not. So this is how hub works. There is another device called switch. There is a small difference between these two devices. First, let us see what is that switch. So before that, just see this picture how a hub is connected. So cable will be connected to the hub in this manner. So for example, if you are sending data to through from server, so it will be sent to or broadcasted to each of the client. So whether it is requested the data or not. Clear? So let us see the next device, that is switch. Switches are similar to hubs in that they connect computers or devices to form a LAN. However, switches are intelligent devices and transmit data around the network more efficiently. So switches are called intelligent hubs. So how it is intelligent, let us see. Each network device has a media access control address or MAC address which uniquely identifies it. So each network device has a MAC address. Data sent to the switch contains the MAC address of the sending device and the MAC address of the receiving device. So data sent to the switch will have MAC address of sending and receiving um, device. The switch will check these addresses and only send the data to the relevant device rather than to all devices. So what happens is, in hub, when we send message through through hub, what happens, it will be broadcasted to all. So all nodes, the data will be sent whether it requests or not, but in this case it checks the MAC address of the sending and receiving device. So it will be sent to only the intended node. For example, you can see this picture how data is transferring. For example, from first to last the data should go. So it sends only to the intended node here. It won't be sent to all other nodes. Clear? In case of hub, it sends to all the nodes. So the data transmission will be faster in switch. Clear? So here you can see how it is transferred. So from server data is sent, and it is sent, the MAC address of the server is checked here, and MAC address of the receiver, that is client, is also checked, and the data is sent only to the intended node. Clear? Next device is router. Routers enable data to be sent or routed between different types of networks. For example, a router would be used to connect a LAN to a WAN, so a local area network to a wide area network. They are intelligent devices and can perform the following functions. So they can read data and decide where to send it. They can decide on fastest route in which to send the data. They can make the format of the data suitable for the network where it is being sent. So this is still higher version of the switch, that is, so it is more intelligent than switch. What happens is it can read data and decide where to send. So it reads and decides where it has to go. It also decides the path or route, the fastest route where there is less traffic, the data will be transferred through that. So fastest route is also decided here. So that's why it is called as router. Clear? So here there is a picture. The router uses the IP address to work out where to send the packets of the data. So IP address will be checked and then sends. So multiple devices connecting to the internet through the same internet connections. Here there is a picture here how router works. So for example, you see this picture, the different kinds of data is passed. So the red color one is filtered and sent here. So this is how router works. Here, next is bridge. Bridges are used to connect or bridge LANs together. Bridges can connect different types of networks so that they act as one single LAN and thus can communicate with each other. So you want to communicate two LANs to each other, then you will need to use bridge. For example, we have two networks. One network connects the computers or devices with cables, and the other connects the computers and devices using wireless. So the cabled network cannot communicate with the wireless network and vice versa. By using a bridge, all of the computers or devices can communicate with each other as one single LAN. So two different LANs can be connected together using a bridge. Clear? So here there is a picture how it works. So the two switches are, there is a switch here for wired LAN and there is a wireless LAN switch. So both are connected to a bridge. So it allows each side of the LAN to share resources. Clear? Next is gateway. A gateway, as the name suggests, is a passage to connect two networks together that may work upon different networking models. They basically work as messenger agents that take data from one system, interpret it, and transfer it to another system. So this is the picture of gateway. So in bridge, two different LANs are joined together, and here two different networks, that is, it may be different kinds of network, different networking models are joined in a gateway. So gateway joins two different, so various kinds of networks will be there. So you want to join different kinds of networks together, then you need a device called gateway. Next is modem. Modem stands for modulator and modulator demodulator. The modem can convert the digital computer data into analog signals and analog to digital. So analog, that is telephonic signals to digital and digital to analog, and conversion will be done through modem. Modems can also reverse this process and convert the analog signals from telephone line into digital data so computer can use it. So modems contain both digital to analog converter DAC and analog to digital converter ADC. So analog to digital and digital to analog connection is done with the help of a modem. So digital signals what we create using a system cannot directly travel. So we need a conversion when it will travel through telephonic lines. So we need to conversion. So that is done with the help of a modem. So here analog signals, telephone lines can only transmit analog signals. Digital data from computers cannot be sent over analog lines. So what you need? You need a conversion. So what that conversion is done with the help of a modem. So you can see the picture here. Digital signals are converted into analog and sent through the telephone lines. Then again analog is converted, and in another modem which converts the analog signals back to digital and transmits data. So this is called modem. Clear? This is how modem works. Next is repeater. Repeater is an electronic device that receives a signal and retransmits it. Repeaters are used to extend transmission so that the signal can cover longer distances. When the cable length is more, the signal will be weakened. So you want to regenerate the signal, then you need a device called a repeater. So you have a repeater in between so the signals will be regenerated. So approximately 100 meters distance, in 100 meters distance you can keep a repeater so that it amplifies the signal. Clear? So repeater is a device used for amplifying the signal or regenerating the signal. I hope you are clear with the networking devices. Next is network topology. So what is a topology? Topology defines the structure of the network, of how all the components are interconnected to each other. That is nothing but the arrangement of computers or devices in a network. We call it as a topology. There are various kinds of topology: bus topology, ring topology, tree topology, star topology, mesh topology, hybrid topology. But as per our syllabus, we use only four kinds of networks, that is bus, star, tree, and mesh topology. We'll see that what are these topologies. The first one is bus topology. Bus topology is a topology for LAN in which all the nodes are connected to a single cable. The starting and ending points of the cable is terminator. So here all systems will be connected, all nodes are connected to a single cable, and at the end there will be terminators. So data will be transferred from one node to another through this single cable, and there will be terminator at the ends. So this topology is called bus topology. So what are the advantages? Each topology is having its own advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of bus topology are: it is easy to install, it requires less cable length, and hence it is cost effective. So easy to install. You can install, directly connect one system to the cable, and it requires less cable length because you have a main cable, everything is connected to that cable itself. So each node will be connected to the main cable, so cable length is less. Failure of the node does not affect the network. If in case any one of the node is not working, it will not affect the other system. So what are its disadvantages? In case of cable or terminator fault, the entire network breaks down. So main disadvantage is the main cable which is connected here. If it is having a problem, then the whole network will be fail. Similarly, the terminator at the end, that is at fault, the entire network breaks down. So this network is not suitable for large number of computers because everything is depending on single cable there. At a time, only one node can transmit the data. This is another disadvantage. At a time, only one node can transmit the data. Is it clear? This is about bus. Next is star topology. Star topology is based on central node. Here all the computers are connected to a central node. So there will be a central node. All the systems are connected. All the systems are connected to a central node. So in star topology, there will be a central node, and all the systems are connected to a central device. Clear? So what are its advantages? Easy to troubleshoot. So that it means any system is having a problem, we need to check only the cable which comes from the switch to the particular system. So it is easy to troubleshoot. A single node failure does not affect the entire network. That means if any one of the node is having problem, it will not affect the other systems. Fault detection and removal of faulty parts are easier in this uh, type of network. Disadvantages: difficult to expand. That means each switch will have a capacity. If you want to have a additional system, maximum, if it is already maximum, it is utilized. Again, expanding is difficult. For example, a switch supports 8 systems, so you cannot have a 9 system. So depends on central node. Everything is depending on a central node. If central node fails, then the whole network will be failed. So larger cable is required. This is also one of the disadvantages. From each switch, the cable goes to each node. So that's why you need a more cable. So this is the disadvantages of star topology. Next is tree topology. It has a root node and all other nodes are connected to it, forming a hierarchy. It is also called hierarchical topology. It should act at least it should at least have 3 levels to the hierarchy. So like there will be a central node, to we call it as a root node, which is connected to subordinates or nodes. Again it will have again divisions. So ideal if workstations are located in groups. It is very ideal when workstations are located in groups used in wide area network. These are used in wide area network. So what are its advantages? The advantages of tree topology is extension of bus and star topology. So the features what we saw in star and bus are combined here. Expansion of nodes is possible and easy. You can add additional nodes. It's easy. Easily managed and maintained. Error detection is easily done. We can find out the error easily. Disadvantages: heavily cabled. That means it will have more cables, and whenever it is more cable, it is costly. If more nodes are added, maintenance is difficult. So if more number of nodes are added to the system, then maintenance of the systems is difficult. Central hub fails, network fails. Here also depends on central hub. So if it is fails, then network fails. So this is about tree topology. Next one, mesh topology. Mesh topology is a group of nodes which are all connected to each other, and many types of connections are possible in mesh topology. So here you can see the picture here how it is connected. So many types of connection is possible in this topology. So you can see how the data transfers from one to another here. The arrangement of the network nodes is such that it is possible to transmit data from one node to many nodes at the same time. This is the advantage of mesh topology. From one to many it is possible. Fault is easily diagnosed easily. So any fault is there, it can be diagnosed easily. Disadvantages are installation and configuration is difficult. It is difficult to install and configure, and here also you can see many cables are used, so the cabling cost is also more. Clear? So I hope you understood the concept of networking here, and we saw the various devices, then the topology. So first we saw the network interface card. It is a device required in each system. Then we saw network cable. So network cable is plugged into network interface unit. Then we saw hub. So hub and switch both are used for connecting systems to a network. So difference between hub and switch is, in hub the data if you are sending, it sends to all the nodes, so data transfer will be slow compared to switch. But in switch, so data will be transferred to only the intended node. So here the data transfer will be faster. Then we saw router, which enables data to be sent in different routes. So it can read data and decide where the data has to go, and it searches for the fastest route to send the data. So then we saw bridge. So it bridges the two different networks together. Then we saw gateway. So gateway and bridge differences. Bridges the similar type of networks, but gateway connects dissimilar networks. Clear? Then we saw modem. Modem stands for modulator and demodulator, so which converts the digital signals to analog and analog back to digital. Then we saw repeater. Repeater is a device used to amplify the signal. So if the distance is 100 meters and or more, then you need a repeater to amplify the signal. Then we saw the topology. Topology is nothing but the arrangement of computers in a network. So mainly as per syllabus we are going to see the topologies: bus, tree, star and mesh. So bus topology, where LAN in bus topology, where you will have a central cable, one single cable. So each node is connected to a single cable, and terminators are there at the end of the cable. So each type of topology has its own advantages and disadvantages. So mainly here bus we can easily install, which requires less cable length. Similarly, next is star topology, where you have a central node connected to other systems. So here the cable, you can see the picture and decide. So cable length is require more and easy to troubleshoot. A single node failure does not affect other systems. Then we have a tree topology. So the picture itself will be in a tree structure. So there will be a root node and other nodes connected in hierarchical order. So it is extension of bus and star topology, so that the features of bus and star topologies are used. Then mesh topology. So here it is connected in many different ways. So we saw its advantages, the arrangement of nodes in such a way that it is possible to transfer data from one to many. One to many transfer is possible here, and the fault can be easily diagnosed. So these are the different topologies and advantages and disadvantages. I hope you are clear with the concepts. Thank you.